All right. What can I help you with? What can we
So,
do you for?
so, so Vaughn, so how's it being in New Jersey?
Why are you so concerned about how it feels for him to be in New Jersey? Why do you care so much?
I'm just wondering.
Why are you wondering? Why do you care?
Yeah, I
I
mean,
want
you
to
got
know.
what you
I want
wanted.
to
You
know.
got what you wanted.
Didn't you get what you wanted, Katie? You wanted me deprived of everything in my entire life, my family,
You're
my
the one
friends,
that sold your property to
my
the
family, my
financial
friends,
backers. You got
my
one
family.
hundred
I
thirty
didn't
thousand
sell it.
dollars. You got one
Screaming,
hundred
You're
thirty
screaming.
thousand dollars.
You gave you $100,000.
Listen, if they give me
Yeah,
$100,000, why not?
they did.
Listen,
They
hold
did. You're
on, hold
lying
on.
about it.
Vaughn, okay.
Hey,
All right, we got to get you out of here because Vaughn's getting a little
no,
loud.
no, 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 no. I want to answer.
Oh,
I
but
want to
you're
answer.
screaming though, man.
Okay, well,
We
give me
got,
the phone then.
you
Tell
don't
me I
have to
don't scream.
scream. You don't have to
All right,
scream.
give me the
I
phone
gotta.
so I don't scream.
You don't have to scream. You don't have to scream.
Katie,
You don't have to scream. They can hear you.
listen to me.
All right, listen
Uh
to
huh.
Vaughn. Open your ears.
Listen to me and stop
Okay.
talking and listen to me.
Okay. Sure.
If I had been given $190,000,
One hundred thirty
why
thousand
in the
dollars.
hell? No, it's supposed to be 190. They paid 10,000 for Lake Branch, but they never paid for their other properties. Okay, the whole properties altogether would have been about 200,000. Now, if I had gotten $190,000, why did me and the dog stay? Why didn't we pack up our shit and leave?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I thought
That's a
you
very
had
good
an
point.
arrangement with them that you would rent the property that had
No,
the old double
no.
wide you had.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. They lied, said that Frost had purchased the double wide in order to get me out of it, and then I stupidly agreed without any proof, mind you. I stupidly agreed to that.
So you never
But there
got
was
a dime from them. They never gave you a dime from at all.
the only money I got from them is the 10,000 for Lick Branch. That's it. That's all I got. The
That's
10,000 for
illegal.
Lick Branch.
That's
Well, no
illegal.
shit, Sherlock. But when you've got a listen, when you got the county attorney in your pocket, when you've got a congressman in your pocket, when you've got several other attorneys in your pocket, I mean, what chance did I have, right?
But
Plus,
that's elderly that is elderly abuse. What they did to you. You
no
know that,
shit,
right?
Sherlock. No shit, Sherlock.
Then
Because no,
why did you not report
fight. Okay,
them?
okay, all right. Calm down. Fight how? How would I fight? They got the county attorney agreeing with them. They got a Kentucky state congressman agreeing with them. How am I going to fight that? You tell me. How do I fight that? Go ahead. How do I fight it?
Well, one, you should have contested the entire transfer of your property. Then you should have contested that.
And contested how? Contested how? How am I going to do that?
You
They've already
you should
signed it.
go
They
in and
signed the
say, I
paperwork behind my
didn't.
back.
You should go then. I didn't agree with this. I didn't agree to giving
Pardon me.
my property over to them. I agreed to give them the Lit Branch property. I didn't agree to give all my entire properties over to them. I didn't agree to give him a power of attorney.
You understand that on paper everything looks legal, right?
They didn't have a hearing for your power of attorney at all?
Everything looks legal on paper.
That is just bullshit.
She's absolutely right. You can still contest it,
You can
even though
still
it looks
contest
legal.
it. You
You
know
say
that.
it's not
You
legal.
can still do that. You have a year. You have a
Yeah, but you got to
year.
have
You
money for
have a
that,
year. You have a
and I
year
don't
to
have
do
any
that. You
money.
know that,
So
right?
They're
You
looking
have
to it.
a
They'll
year.
look into it. Is it
no, they
what
ain't nobody
happened?
going to look into shit.
Yeah, but you have a year to do that.
Nobody is
Fine.
going to look into
All right,
nothing.
whatever.
No
It is
one
what
is
it
going to
is.
look into nothing.
You know what?
Believe me, if I could have
I live in
contested,
The people,
Kentucky.
they're
I know
shitty
what the
people.
law.
There's
I
like
know the law, and
Vaughn
you
and
have. I'm telling you
I
what,
gotta
you have
hire
a
Honeydew.
year to do that.
Katie, I trusted them, and that was my fuck up, and now I got to live with it. I got one. I can tell you right now, I'll never trust
If
anybody
no
ever again.
money
I can tell
changed
you that.
hands,
That's for
if they
damn
didn't
sure. I'll never
actually give
trust
you one
anybody
hundred
ever
thirty
again.
thousand or a
This
hundred,
is the last. This is the last.
This chillers, and you came in here and you started acting like a. So we'll
uh,
take it easy. All right. You have a year to contest that. Okay. Well, you know what, Exodus, if you want to help us out, go down to the local courts and contest it on his behalf. We give you permission to be his
Liaison.
liaison and get the property back.
Yeah, there you go. It's that simple. It really is that simple. But yeah, man, if you contest them, you got to have money. You got to have lawyers. You got to have at least a fighting chance. You ain't got a fighting chance now.
So when they said they promised you 200,000 and they didn't give you the 200,000, did you even go to the cops and say nothing?
No, because it wouldn't done me no good.
You didn't even try.
No, she went straight to the county attorney's office. She went straight to the county.
So you go straight to the county attorney's office.
He won't listen to me. He won't listen. He won't. I wish he would, but he won't listen. He won't listen to me. They've got it. They've got it set. The frost,
All right.
the frost, and these trolls here.
But you got to have it on record. If I just say, this Chick-fil-A, I bought the Chick-fil-A meal and they didn't give it to me, I just go, well, they didn't give it to me.
Yeah.
I don't do nothing about it. You can't complain. You can't. You don't really
No.
have a right to complain. I have
No.
to go to the cops and say the Chick-fil-A didn't give me my meal,
Right.
and the cop will come and say, why didn't you give me my meal? I got a receipt.
Because they put a gun to my head when I mentioned it.
They put a gun to his head.
Yes, they did.
So if there's if FBI agent out here or a government agent wants to take his testimony, they threaten him with
With a firearm.
with a firearm,
With a firearm right to my head.
brandishing firearms to his head.
That's right. As far as I'm concerned, that's attempted murder.
So why didn't you tell the cops that? Why didn't you go to the sheriff?
Because the sheriff won't listen. That's what I'm telling you. They've got everybody boloed down there to thinking that I'm a piece of trash and that I'm a liar and that anything I say is a lie and all this crap. It's horrible, man. You can't win. You can't
I
win.
don't know what to tell you. I mean,
You can't win. You can't win, dude. I wished I could. I mean, like I said, if I could have contested, I would have. But there's no way to contest it.
all right. So Exodus, I'll tell you what. If you're able to be his liaison and go to the court, go to the cops and say they threatened him with a gun and they took the property illegally, maybe Vaughn will give you a trailer. Maybe you can get a piece of the property back. If you win it back, you can maybe Vaughn will do something for you. I don't know.
If you get the 200 grand, I'll tell you what. I'll make a deal with you. You get the 200 grand, and 2 grand is in your pocket. How about that?
That's an easy $2,000.
Easy 2 grand, bro. Get my 200 grand.
All you got to do is knock on the door and say, "I want my money." That's all you got to do. What Vaughn's money?
Give me my 200 grand. You got 2 grand in your pocket. Just that quick. Just that fucking quick, bro. Let's make it happen.
200,000. We could put a house. We could put a down payment on a house, and
That's right.
we could go from over here.
Well, see, and that's the thing. That's what Childress doesn't understand. If they had paid me, okay, all right. Let's break this down. Okay. All right. They say they paid me, right? Okay, great. How much did they pay for Grand Branch? We know they paid 10,000 for Lake Branch, but how much did they pay for Grand Branch? Oh, well, we don't know because there's no document. How much did they pay for 419? We don't have a document for that either.
So why did you leave?
How much did they pay for 429? How about 439? How about 851? How much 866? If they paid me, there should be documentation showing how much they paid me, and more importantly, there should be documentation at the bank showing where that money was deposited into the estate account. Right? Well, guess what? There is no documents. There is no statement from the bank saying the money was deposited into my account. Nowhere. I defy you to show it to me. Show me where the bank said that my shit got deposited. Well, you can't. Exactly. There would be a money trail. Exactly right. There would be a paper trail, a money trail. It's my fuck up. I admit it. It's my fuck up. I trusted these people to help me. When I asked Brian.
Brian seems like a real piece of shit.
When I asked Brian when he was going to give me the rest of the 200,000 for the property,
What did he say?
He got belligerent with me and put a loaded gun to my head. Yes, he did. That's a fact.
And you're willing to testify that in court?
Well, not only am I willing to testify, but him and Charity were screaming so loud that everybody on Crane Creek heard him. I mean, there's no way. And see, our neighbor across the street, Tom Hayden, he's an ex-cop. So there's that too. But yeah, I mean, when the deck is stacked against you, man, there's not much you can do.
Not much you can do.
And like I said, this happens to elderly people all the fucking time. I mean, Google it. They lose their property, they lose their valuables, they lose money, they lose, it happens to elderly people all the time. It's sad, but it's true.
If Brian's and Charity were good, honest people, they would They would mail a check to Vaughn. I'll tell you what, if Charity and Brian wants to do right by Vaughn, I'll give them an address that they can mail the check to. Well, next time, I mean, if someone's promised you money for the property, you get the money up
Get it in,
front.
get the money up front and get
It's
it
not
in
about
writing.
riding. I don't even you don't even care about the riding. Just get the money up front. Take the money and run.
Get it in writing too. That way they can't back out of it at the last second. Because you don't want them backing out at the
I
last
mean,
second.
according to American law, I mean, your verbal agreement is just
It's
as
just as legal and
binding
correct.
as a written document.
Correct. That is the law. The verbal agreement is just as legal and
Did
binding.
you put your name on anything transferring property over to Charity and Brian?
Charity became my PO and signed my name in my place. I wasn't even there. I wasn't even in Joe White's office. She signed for me. She made herself the.
Well, isn't that against the law to sign your name to sign someone else's name to the document? I
I
think
would think, but see, I didn't know. I figured, well, hell, they're going to pay me, right? I thought, well, they're going to pay me. Well, they never paid me. They paid me for Lick Branch, but they never paid me for the rest of the properties. And then, like I said, when I confronted Brian about, hey, are you going to pay me for the rest of the property? That's when he put a loaded gun to my head.
you sure it was loaded? It was.
Oh, it's
It was empty. So sometimes
heard,
people put guns at people that are not even bullets in it.
dude, you heard him fire a shot at my dog. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. He
That's
almost
right.
killed the dog. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a different. I mean, okay.
No, it was the same. That was the same thing. That was
Same day.
Yeah, same day. Yeah.